Headlining next week's CFFC 119 card, I am here today with the greatest Gregg Ellis, the current Art of War Middleweight champion and contender for the CFFC Middleweight championship. How you doing today, Greg?
Doing great, boss. How about yourself?
Can't complain.
Yes,
So
sir.
pretty stacked fight next week.
Oh, yeah.
Donovan, it's actually I think Donovan's first defense, if I recall. He
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
won, and then he went and got the Bo Nickel fight,
Yes, sir.
and so people kind of know him from that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not the way you want to learn to be
Right,
introduced to
right.
fans, but
Yeah.
he got the little pop there, and gets the fight now against you. Um, Great setup for you too, coming off a championship belt victory in your last fight against Earl Trouble Small.
Yes, sir.
How was it going into that? Coming into enemy territory and taking the belt.
Man, it was crazy. I got there, I felt the energy immediately. When I walked out, everybody was booing, but for me, it didn't make. I went there on a mission. I knew I wasn't leaving without the belt. I told the matchmaker also, like, why did y'all line me up with? Why did you do this kid like that? And he was like, we'll see after the fight. But I knew deep down that he didn't. He wasn't ready for what I was bringing. And I think it's going to be the same case also with Donovan.
Yeah, Donovan, bit of a grappler. I think he has some striking, but he's pretty much known for the grappling. When he won the title against Miles Lee, he went in deep waters. Miles Lee kind of ran that fight his way, and then in one of those Hail Mary comebacks, he pulls the triangle and gets the title, which lined up for the Bo Nickel fight. Looking at that, anything worry you there about the fact that he's there till the bell rings, or you looking for like a quick finish, get in, get out, get paid?
See, that was the thing we focus on most. We know that he's very durable. He's not going to give up on himself, and neither am I. So that we worked on cardio a lot this camp. I always had good cardio. Cardio never been a problem, but I know that it's funny you said he's a grappler. I didn't see him as a grappler. I just the main thing about him, like you said, is just his perseverance. He'll keep going, and so we prepared for that. I don't think he's a better striker, a better wrestler, or grappler. None of that. It was just the main thing was his cardio that he's willing to go, and I'm prepared for that also, man.
Yeah, I say that because I think the grappling's stronger than the striking.
Got you.
It's not like he's not like a submission or nothing kind of guy. It's just that
Got
that
you.
seems to be where he's not afraid to get to the ground and go. Where a lot of people they kind of like flounder when they hit the ground.
Sure, sure.
Um, it's not, your last belt. With the Art of War, you actually came into probably the most hostile
Very.
enemy territory. I apologize to everyone who has to come into Philly as the blue corner. We're not welcoming
Not at all.
before, during, or after. And that was an experience that we were kind of talking briefly about how the last two CFFC cards were in Philly, and we had a short notice guy come in and take the amateur belt off of a local guy, and
Yeah.
they were great sports about it. I actually ran into them as I was leaving, and I was like, I'm sorry, like great fight, I'm sorry. But this time you're down in Tampa. Tampa's a little more
That's home for me. I'm home.
it's home for you. I think Donovan was from Florida. I think he's now more. I don't know if he's in Texas or more west now.
Yeah, I think he's in
Uh,
Texas now.
so but it's still a little home crowd for you, kind of home crowd for him as far as fighting. So
Gotcha.
nice mutual both ways.
Right, right.
And down in Florida as well, you fought for Titan FC and so on as well. So it's not even like you're. I was a little worried at first. I was like, oh man, I had to pull up some past fights because I know your last fight was on Star Fund.
Mm-hmm.
Not as publicly accessible as like a Fight Pass and all, but you've been on Fight Pass. You've been on Fight Pass with some great names too.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I think the one card it was like the co-main event was Gilbert Burns. Another one had Kamar Usman's brother Muhammad, who's
Yeah.
he's about to make his like real UFC debut.
Yes, sir.
So is this your first headliner then?
Um, yeah, yeah, as a pro, yes, yes, it'll be my first. But I don't see the difference. Honestly, I would rather fight earlier and get not necessarily get it over with, but to go and watch fights and enjoy the scenery of the fans. But wherever I'm on the court, I'm comfortable, man. Same vision, same mission.
Well, yeah, that is always, you hear that a lot too. You have some people who hang around. You have those who, again, come in, fight, and they're at the hotel or first plane ticket back home,
Right,
which
right.
not far for you.
Hmm.
Who are you training with down in Florida now? Are you still at Tiger Muay Thai, or are you?
I'm now training in Peachtree City, Georgia. I'm training with PTC Combat, Pete Snyder, head coach. For this camp, we also on Spar Days we went down to ATT Lima and got some good work with the Lima brothers and everybody at that gym. High level guys, man. I had a great time there. They were very welcoming, and they got me prepared for sure.
Did you get any working with like Shamel Finley down there? That's where one of
Uh,
his camps as well.
no, I didn't work with him at all. I didn't
Because
see him actually.
he's on the card as well with you. I think that was just announced, so I can now say
Oh,
that.
yeah, he's like a 35 or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I
a
didn't work with him, but it's another guy on there, Isaiah. He's fighting at middleweight too. I got some good work with him. Yeah, like I said, everyone there is welcoming. I didn't know these guys were fighting until last week I was there. They looked like they're getting prepared for a fight. You guys are fighting, and I'm like, oh, we're all on the same card. How crazy is that? So
yeah,
look
and
forward to coming together.
at Lima as well too. Cody Durden, he's a coach down there. Did you get any work
Yep,
with him? I
yep,
know
got
he's in camp as well too. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
outside of that, so good camp there. You sound more than ready. I've been kind of lurking on the Instagram. You're not showing too much, but you're kind of showing that obviously there's a fight coming up. Any nerves going into the fight?
It's always some type of nerves. I feel like this time around though, the last three fights, two finishes, dominated Earl. I don't feel like I performed, so to speak. Like this one, I want to perform so people know that, oh, this guy is ready for the next level. I don't want that question to be asked anymore after this. So I'm looking to put on a big performance, and I think I got the right guy to do it again. So he's like I said, he's durable, and he's expecting a war, but to be quite honest, I don't think he's ready for what I have prepared for him. So we'll see what happens. But we're ready if he is or if he isn't.
Yeah, I mean, and timing wise, is pretty good too. You're entering right into like the summer
Right.
timing, which obviously lines into contender
Contender.
series and so on. Is that where your goal is, like win this one and go in contender series, or win this one, whatever happens next is next?
That's the goal. I vision after this one. Not quite. I'm not quite sure when it starts. If they ask to defend it, I'm more than willing to stay active.
Mhm.
But that's the goal after this to go on the contender series or even a short notice call and something. So I feel like I've been in this game long enough where I've learned and I'm ready. And I'm not just saying that because I'm gonna prove that to myself and to everybody else on this fight next Thursday that I'm ready for it. So,
His last fight was on contender series, so a
right.
win over here, you're technically fighting a contender series bet. Getting away from this fight as a whole, just going
Yes.
in the mind of a fighter, the mind of someone who's been here around for a while. You're not new. You put the years in already. What's been the biggest struggle as a fighter? Be it mentally, obviously there's always financial issues too, because on the regional, you're not getting a
Right.
lot.
Not at all.
What has been your biggest struggle so far in your career?
My biggest struggle, I feel like for me is so in my amateur career, I started off pretty much 10-0, flow right into my pro career 4-0, and then that 4 fight slid. I went four down, and I feel like that's where the struggle started. It's just being used to winning so much and losing four years without a victory. That was a struggle for me, but in return, it also prepared me for this moment. I feel like it led me closer to God, my family, just realizing that the sport isn't everything. When the sports die down, I have to go home to my wife and my kids. So I spend time loving on them and getting closer to God, and I feel like putting that foundation together, which now I can put MMA and build on top of it. So the biggest struggle was pretty much those 4 years, man. I went through every emotion. It was hard to get up every morning, but I knew the vision was still clear to me. Like I knew that this is what I was called to do, and this is what I was going to do. So in spite of the fact that it was hard, I feel like I said, it prepared me, and getting through it to now, I feel great. I feel great.
Yeah, I know. We have a lot of fighter friends lately who are on that skid currently,
Yeah,
and being close to some fighters, you see all the questions come through your head. Are you in the? Is this what you're meant to do? Should you keep going? You have all your friends, of course, know. Are they being yes men? Yeah, keep going, keep going. Or are they actually looking at after you?
right. Right.
That definitely makes it resonates a lot, especially lately with some friends on their current skids.
100%, man.
Um,
You have to, especially like I said, on the 4 fight skids, you get emotions from yourself, everybody else. You have to be worried about what they're thinking, but still knowing that what you're called to do is still available to you. You just have to keep going, pretty much.
so you next Thursday at the Hard Rock in Tampa, you get the win. Hopefully next, either a defense or a contender series. Let's circle back to the last one. Art of War. Are you now exclusive at CFFC, or are you still open there too?
I did sign. I think it's a 3 fight deal with the CFC, so I think I'm more so on after the CFC should be a bigger show here or there, preferably the UFC. But yeah, I'm looking to win this title and be found here and defend it if I need to, as much as I need to.
And then let's bounce off that one too with the with goals with the UFC. Is it UFC or bust? The middleweight division is pretty nice everywhere besides PFL, who doesn't offer it anymore.
Mhm.
Are you open to like a Bellator or a one as well, or is it strictly UFC?
For me, when I started 9 years ago, the vision I had was always the UFC. I feel like that was a calling on me to get there. So I see a lot of guys start off with that vision, but they also get that call to somewhere else, and I'm not criticizing them at all. So after you've been in this game so much, you have to make some type of money to, whether it's to provide for your family. But I feel like my calling is definitely in the UFC. Um, I'm not denying anyone else, whatever the future brings, but I'm tunnel vision on getting to the UFC right now.
Yeah, I mean, number one promotion in the world. Can't
Exactly.
really
And I feel
can't
like,
really hate it.
right, I'm the greatest, man. I belong with the greatest guys in the world, and that's where they are in the UFC.
And I mean, perfect timing too for your division.
Right, right.
I think we're about to see a little changing of the guard. Yes, Izzy's back in the title hold, but
In a big
usually when
way.
you have that back and forth, it usually you get a revamping around.
Sure.
Even especially right now, top 10's getting a little, I don't want to say stale, but a little older. They've been
Yeah,
around for a while.
100%.
It's when you start seeing them kind of drop lower. I mean, just until last Saturday, Kelvin Gaston was like 14, and he's been
Right?
there for I feel a decade.
Yeah,
Uh,
man. I feel like it's definitely middleweight need a new face, and I'm more than happy to be that guy, and I will be that guy, matter of fact. So I'm just taking it day by day, being patient. I know I have a big task ahead of me next Thursday. I look forward to handling it and handle it in a spectacular way. And from there, I think I'm the new face of that division very, very soon.
yeah, it's one of those speak it, say it, make it happen, put
Yes,
it
sir.
into formation. Outside of that, ready for next Thursday. Sounds like you had the game plan on lock. You're ready to get in there, get the gloves go, and just let it roll. I'm gonna pass it over to you. Any sponsors, anyone you want to shout out? I'm sure the wife and kids you want to give them a little extra love as well. But the floor is all yours. Sponsors, anything, go ahead.
Uh, First and foremost, man, always shout out to my Lord, my Savior, Jesus Christ, man. Without him, none of this, that the 4 fights kids I went down, like without him, I wouldn't even be sitting here right now. And I believe that he put everything that happened for a reason. Because in that 4 years, I got married to my wife, very supportive. Thank her also. We had 2 beautiful sons, 4, 1. My daughter also, shout out to my daughter. But yeah, man, I feel like my foundation is set and it's time to start building. And I have the right people in my corner also. Shout out to New Western. They're, they've been my sponsor. Rough, tough times, and they never once say, hey, we can't do it anymore. Michael Vario always call in checks and be like, hey, anything you need, we're still here for you. Of course, my home gym, PTC Combat, Pete Snyder, Paris, Corey, all those guys there at that gym, man, they pushed me to be. I've never been pushed like that. These guys are savages. Like I can't wait till you guys actually be introduced to them and you get to know just some of their resume. Those guys down there are awesome. Always shout out the Extreme Couture because I feel like it built me into the fighter that I am. Let me realize that what it takes to compete at that level, man. And where I started, Hellman's MMA. Always shout out to Gary Hellman. 6 year there without he's pretty much he's a foundation of the base fighter that I am. And thank you guys also, man, for having me on, taking your time on to select me out a few, and I really appreciate it. And I'll CFFC, can't forget them. Thanks for having me on the card. Appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. Thursday, April 20th, Tampa Bay, Hard Rock Casino. Casino cards are always fun, especially if you're from not right in the area. You go there, you watch the card, you maybe go get a hotel for the night. You just kind of hang out afterwards. As far as I'm aware, tickets are still on sale. These Hard Rock shows do sell out, so I'm hoping by the time this gets posted, there's still some tickets out there. People can still get them. If you go through the CFFC website, I believe they can put your name down. You get a little kickback on the side.
Right.
But definitely support. I know I'm tuning in from PA. I'm not making the trip this time, but I'm definitely excited for this one. I think it's going to answer a lot of questions from your opponents, and it's going to put you on the pedestal at a larger promotion, a little more accessible to the fan base as well. And I could see the guys at CFFC really being able to promote you when you win on next Thursday. Yes, so thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you, especially this far in camp. I know probably right now you don't want to talk to anybody within the last couple of days.
No, man, I owed you this one. I had to cancel. This camp, I had a lot of family duties come up, and I had to take care of those also too, man. So being able to reschedule and get back with you is thank you for rescheduling.
Always. I told you from day one. I work around your schedule. We make it happen. So best of skill on Thursday. Let's regroup after maybe.
Yeah, for sure. Hit me up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Brother. Thank you.